Namaskar. I welcome you all to the 10th and concluding session of this series, Aalok, Theory and Contemporary Music Performance. I would like to recap in brief about the 9 sessions which were conducted. In the first session, we came to know Prabhaji's thoughts about the primary elements of music and we came to know what the music materials are. In the second session, we came to know her thoughts about the Ghats or genre in Hindustani classical vocal music. Then in the third and fourth session, we came to know about Sargam, which is a topic of Prabhaji's contemplation for years. In the fifth session, we came to know her thoughts about bandish as a music material. In the sixth session, we had discussion about the Ghats or genre in Hindustani semi-classical vocal music. Then, in the seventh session, we came to know about the forms in Hindustani light vocal music. In the eighth session, we contemplated about the concept related to rag like rag ras and rag samay. In the ninth session, we discussed about the gharanas of Khyal and with special reference to the Kirana Gharana. Today, in this final session, we will discuss about music education and training. So Prabhaji, to start with the discussion, I want to ask what is music education according to you? How was it previously and how is it now?
I have always felt that since the ancient times, music has been an inevitable part of human life. The way we eat, drink, sleep, similarly we sing also. But when music came in front of us in the form of art, then the question of education arose. If we want to do anything good, then there should be a thought behind it, there should be education, there should be practice. So, similarly, when we talk about music education, then what is the purpose behind? Why do we wish to learn music? Until we don't decide this, we can't start education. Or for the purpose is sought out, are there facilities available for the training? Is there any guru available to teach us? Are the students good enough? Are they capable? All these will become the topics of discussion. So, the music education in front of us today, like education through books and education through a guru, so I feel that both of them are going parallel. Maybe there is less need of a guru because there are so many facilities, there are books, there are CDs, there are videos, we get a lot to listen to. So, from that perspective, the importance of guru has reduced a little. But our Indian music, the classical music, for that we need a 1-to-1 ratio. That is very important in the beginning. Until your foundation is ready, you will definitely have to learn from a guru. And as soon as you have mastered this, then today you have so much exposure that you can choose what you like. If you like a gharana or whatever you feel you can do it well, or say a music form, so you should walk on that path. That will be your education.
Though we see that Indian tradition has been primarily oral training, in every area we have had the tradition of oral training. Written tradition had less importance. It's not like it did not exist, but its importance was less. And in music, a performing art, oral training still has a lot of importance even today. Uh, so, if you look at it since the ancient times, then a guru would train his disciple orally, verbally. So, if today we have changes here due to technical conveniences, but as you said, its importance has not reduced. Its quantity might have reduced, but not the importance. If you can describe a good guru and a good disciple, please tell us.
Uh, Actually, it's very difficult to describe. But firstly, one need to have a good knowledge of what one wants to teach. One should be knowledgeable, should be liberal, meaning this is not good, that is not good. Forget whatever you learned before. All this should not happen. This happens a lot of time. I mean, what has been taught before also has certain contribution. You should definitely improve upon it if you want, but a lot of time people say that you have wasted your time. This is not good. This should not happen. So whatever you wish to teach, whether it's khayal, whether it's Drupa Damar, it's Tumri, the guru needs to be master in that. I mean, teaching is also an art. It's not like those who can sing can teach well, and those who teach well might properly not be able to perform on stage. So, when we talk about teaching, then from every perspective, you need a lot of patience and you need to go to the level of student to teach. How his potential is, how his voice is, how his understanding is. A lot of time it happens that when we teach Sargam in the beginning, we sing Sa, but he isn't leaving Re. No matter how many times we say it doesn't happen. So it takes a lot of times to understand Sur, tone. There are very few students who have the knowledge of Sur beforehand. So firstly, we need to have the knowledge of Sur. How to apply the right tone. I would say anyone who wants to come to the music field, they need to have very good ears. Before learning, your ears need to be very much prepared. I mean, you are not just to listen for listening's sake. You need to listen for the details. What is happening? What event is taking place? You need to pay attention to all of these. Only then you can learn properly as well. Otherwise, if we have to do an exercise, say, but why to do, how to do, it's happening properly or not. It's not like how it used to be. You live in Guru's place and work and devote yourself there. Now, a Guru can give an hour. Our lifestyles have become such. So, whatever best we can do, like we have a lot of aids. We have a tape recorder, which is very good. I mean, if you have a good understanding, then you can correct yourself, you can assess, and then whatever you have practiced, whatever you have prepared, you can record that and make your guru listen to what you have done and if it's good or not, is it done properly or not. So the student needs to be that determined, the willingness to struggle. He needs to listen to others, and everyone has limitations, but do not look at that. Look at what good they have, what positive things they have. If you start looking like this, then you will definitely find something good everywhere, and that is very important because then your mentality becomes like that. While listening, you should listen to good things only. So the student needs to be like this and the guru also needs to be like this. My guru was very generous and he gave me freedom to do whatever I wanted, but do good. That's how a guru should be.
We have a traditional quote that we have to learn 10 times as much, and after that
1,000 times we have
we
to
have
listen
to
and
listen and
practice.
practice. That's your experience as well. In a traditional form, and they used to teach previously, or some people even had a musical environment in their home. But nowadays, especially in the last 70 to 80 years, situations have changed. There are people other than the families that are connected to music who wish to join the industry. Naturally, they don't have a musical environment in their home, and if they wish to learn music, then what difficulties do they have to face? And how can they learn music in such an environment?
even if the environment is not there in your home, but there is a lot outside which should not happen. There is a lot of exposure of the kind of music you shouldn't listen. So in our homes, our parents, they should decide to make them listen to good music. There are CDs available, there is radio. I mean, what you think to be good, ask a few people what good music is and make them listen every night and morning. That's how you can create an environment at home.
No, what I meant to ask was that if you want to learn music, then a lot of times we see that in certain homes, in the homes of musicians, the education starts at the age of 5 or 6, and by the age of 15-16 the child would be prepared. The situation nowadays is completely opposite to that. It is so that at the age of 15 or 16 the child would think of learning music, and after that his pursuit starts. So what can you tell us about this?
I don't feel that way, because nowadays we small little children, if you see reality shows, they are very much prepared children. They are so smart that even if you teach someone, even then one would not be able to sing that well. I mean, I feel this happens through exposure only, even if it didn't happen at your home. But if they listened outside, along with their friends, maybe in school or in colleges, at certain places, there is so much exposure that what they like. Now, what they like, is it good or not, needs to be checked. For that, if you know any good guru who is doing good work, and I mean, whoever has a natural talent definitely would go, because there is a lot of exposure. So, very few people would learn to sing from the age of 15. Those who want to learn start very early on as a child. And even parents are very supportive nowadays. They are encouraging them. So, I believe having the exposure of good music is very important.
But you said a very good thing that a lot of small children are singing very well, as we can see, but they move towards popular music, whether it's film music or
Yeah,
light
it's like
music.
that.
But it is less seen in classical music, and if you want to train yourself in classical music, then mostly these children are not inclined towards classical music. So
Uh,
why does
it
this
happens
happen?
so because one gets fame, one gets money there. Uh, in classical music, the waiting period is too long, no matter how hard you work. Even if you sing well, the opportunity to sing in front of people is available to very few people. You need to practice a lot for that, how to present in front of people. It is important, whether it is good or bad, I can't say, but this is happening now. No matter how well you sing, as long as you don't sing in front of people, you don't get any fame, nor do you get any money. Which is why we see that a lot of people nowadays keep music as a side business. I mean, if they can pay the bills, then it's good. And if the music business kicks off, then they would leave everything else. This also happens. But I want to say one other thing, that if you see that the child has a talent, but to whom do you send him to learn? If the parents don't know much about music, then it becomes very problematic that you send to someone just by hearing a name. That's not how it should be. The natural quality of his voice, his temperament, one needs to keep all of this in mind and search for a guru, because at such a small age the child doesn't have much knowledge. So if you find a good guru, then you need to consult him the way you go to a doctor. Similarly, this is also very important when searching for a guru.
Uh, Very well said. It happens so that a lot of times people go to learn from famous artists, but then they fail because they don't have the time to teach either. And there are so many other good gurus who are not in the limelight. So very few people get training under them. Uh, those who have knowledge do not have people where they can learn from.
No, because they are not as famous. They don't have the glamour
Yeah.
like the artists that we see in front of us. We see them on stage, we see their names on paper, and even on TV. People run behind them. No, they are definitely good artists, but it's not necessary that they would be a good guru. You need to think that also. How much time can they give? How do they teach? There are a lot of things that you feel you would not want to teach them, but everything is available nowadays. I mean, you can't hide things. This is also there.
Uh, we see that earlier there was the traditional training, oral training through a guru. After that, we saw that institutional education was introduced, which is now approximately 100-150 years old. Meaning, we hear the names of Paluskarji and Bhatkhandeji, but even before them, Maula Baksh started off in Baroda. So maybe that was the first attempt, the syllabus-oriented music education, that is now approximately 100-150 years old. But even today, a lot of artists believe that that is okay, nothing can be achieved in institution. Artists are not made in institutes. This is an objection taken a lot of times, that you get a basic education in institutions but you don't become an artist even in institutions. Again, this topic was raised that this is for a degree. Artists are not made here. Artists are only made through training under a guru. So what is your opinion on this?
No, but this is true. Music is not an art which can be taught in groups. It should be personal, because whether the sur is in tune or not, how will you come to know when four children are singing together whether its movement is proper or not? You don't get to know this while teaching simultaneously. There should be only one person in front of you so that you can listen to him properly and correct him. I mean, there are not so many gurus who wish to teach, which is why institutional education is inevitable. And even if not all of them become famous, but at least they had a certificate, so they can at least find a job somewhere. So, I mean, you need both the systems. Our objective should be this much only, that whatever path you choose, whether you become an artist, whether you become a teacher or a writer, or even work in a studio, whatever you do, do it well and do it with understanding. I feel we have not given much thought towards this understanding. Do 20 rags, double the speed. What to do here, what is the difference? This is all okay, but first you need to understand sur, understand lay, how to emote bhav, what the aesthetics are. All this is very important. If you sing 20 rags but are not able to present even one properly, then it's not of use. Even the audience should know all of this. We think that all those who go to a guru become artists. That's not necessary. Not everyone can become an artist. You can reach a stage, but you need a little more to become an artist. That's important. Similarly, in institutionalized education, not all would go towards research. Whatever education they get is basic knowledge. The one with interest goes further. And second thing is that when you go to a guru, there is no syllabus, no exam. So, until something becomes proper, until one rag is perfect, until the sur is perfect, until the lay is okay, if the vistar is not okay, tan clarity is not there, until one gets all of this right, one doesn't get to learn further. But here in institution, you have to cover the syllabus. So this difference will remain. We have to learn to work with both. Do this first properly and then go to a good guru and learn there. And then if you want to be an artist or whatever you wish to be, you can do so. But the knowledge of music should be good. If you have to edit in a studio, until you know what's good and where you made a mistake, how will you edit? All of this, I mean, the knowledge of music should be good for whichever branch you choose.
One part of my question was also that if you go to any popular artist these days to learn music, so they will not teach a person who is completely raw. They would make them sing if their voice is good or if their grasping power is good, only then they are chosen. But that doesn't happen in institutions. Everyone gets an entry. So, institutions are definitely useful to increase the level of music for the students. And we also see that children who learn in institutes, after 10 to 12 years, they become capable enough to learn from a guru. But quite often it happens so that when the child goes to a guru, he is asked to forget, unlearn everything and listen to whatever the guru says, and that is how one has to go ahead. So, is there any guru who would pick a raw student and start to teach him from Saregamapa? And do gurus have that much patience, or will they be able to make time? What do you think about this?
Uh, Both need to be prepared. Even the guru needs to be prepared. If the child is talented, after listening his voice, if he has a good voice, he has good understanding, he can pick up well, then I would definitely like to teach. But even the child needs to be ready to give a lot of time and do hard work. The child's parents should also agree. This is only possible when all of these happens. It also happens that nowadays parents ask us to teach them in such a way that they can go into various competitions. Now, what to do for that? There is no solution seen for that yet.
Uh, you even said that like there is a syllabus in institutions or in schools, and there is a time limitation, whether it's 1 year or 2 years. That syllabus needs to be covered in that time. So many things are left out, meaning the skill set is not increased. Just a tick mark of what they have learned. For the skill set, the child will probably have to work very hard later on. On the other hand, we see that in a Guru Shishya education system, it used to be totally dependent on the Guru. So, in the earlier days, we saw that while one Guru would take 3 years to teach one rag, another Guru would give a student 20-30 compositions to learn in 1 year. So, there was no standardization. Probably even today, Guru Shishya education system has no set standards or anything fixed. And on the other hand, we see in institutions they have tried to standardize the education system. So in order to learn music, is standardization possible? Is it necessary, or what can we think about this today?
Standardization is possible in the academic education system, but we need everyone's permission. What happens is that firstly, we have to standardize the theory. One rag is like this, the same rag in another gharana is different. So, what will the child do? And even if the examiner, what will he do? He will say it's not correct. If he is kind, he might say it's all right. But most of the time, this doesn't happen. The child is at loss. So, why are we not able to
I'm
do
not
this?
talking about the examination system, not about how the assessment should be. The
No,
skill
but to
set-
teach as well. Like this is the form of rag. At least the Avroh should be standardized. Which is the Arohi Swar, which is the Avrohi Swar. A lot of people don't even know this. This can also give a lot of.
I'm not talking about rag and its forms. I'm talking about its mechanism, the mechanism to teach and the skill set. Can that be standardized? If you can tell us a bit about that.
In my opinion, it's possible to an extent. For example, you must have noticed that in Carnatic music, any new child has to learn Alankar. He has to learn it.
Sarali Varai.
Yeah,
Yes,
all
they
of
have
that.
to.
I mean, the alankar of swar and lay. So, if even we would have a standard like that, then it would be good for everyone. The foundation would be
Yeah.
good, and a few good short compositions. We can standardize that as well. That one has to learn at least this much.
So, have you tried something for that?
Yes, I am trying for that.
I'm asking you this because you have learnt music in the traditional way and you teach as well. And working at the SNDT University, you also have experience of the academic education system. That's why I'm asking to you.
Yes, I am still trying. Hopefully, in a year or two, I'll be able to do something.
So, so we will look forward for that because if a maestro comes up with a format, then it will be definitely worthwhile.
The format is window, but you have to immerse yourself into it and work.
Meaning the way Paluskarji had made a format, so the next 2-3 generation of students turned to be good artists through that format. But later on, that format, how do you call it, was probably not updated, and the teachers were not that skillful either. So in a way, later on, it disintegrated.
No, the thing is that no matter whatever you do during training, you have to use that in a presentation. You need to be able to do it. Otherwise, what's the point of training and practice? Whatever exercise you practice, and if you are not able to use it in a presentation, then it is of no use. So, in this Riyaaz is a very broad topic, and it keeps on changing for each individual, because some might have a good voice, some might have a good range, some might do good murki, tan is very clear, but there is no stability. I mean, to see the good things in the students and encourage them to go ahead and to correct the imperfections. As long as you don't have an understanding of what you need to correct, until you won't be able to work. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, that your ears need to be very good and ready. Only then you will know if my tone is correct or not. A guru will not be always with you. They have now made a tuner wherein if the tone is correct, then it lights up. Everyone might not be able to do that, but if you can, then definitely do, to see if your tone is good or not, if the light is correct or not. That is the way. Otherwise, train
Train
your
your
ears.
ears.
Yes, this
Yeah.
is the best thing, because sometimes even we are not able to get the right tone, but we come to know where we are wrong. Getting the correct tone is a very difficult thing, but we have the understanding. It's very important to have an understanding of the tone, tunefulness. Like whatever work you are doing, does it have clarity or not, like a tan? I mean, it's of no use to do just for fast tempo. It's important to see its clarity, its emotion, beauty. Otherwise, you can keep at it the whole night, and it will be of no use. Do it just an hour with understanding, and it will have much better effect.
Another question arises. In earlier days, there was a saying like you have to learn for 12 years and then practice for another 12 years, and only after that can one become an artist. Nowadays, 12 plus 12 meaning 24 years. It seems to be very difficult to see someone devote that much time today. So, the question is the time limit of music education, is it reducing?
Uh, Earlier, it was also that one used to stretch it for no reason, right? Sometimes they also did not want to teach certain things, keep on postponing, ask to do an exercise for 1 month. This shouldn't happen, and it doesn't happen nowadays either. And if you do that, then no student will come to you. So it goes both the ways. You need to see how early can a student be independent. Similarly, the student needs to see to give as much time as possible. The art of music is such difficult thing. I always I have penned a poem. I recite that for myself every morning. सुरांची साधना पाण्यावर ओढलेला रेषेसारखी. सुरांची साधना पाण्यावर ओढलेला रेषेसारखी उमटत असतात मिटून जाणारे. Which is why you have to do this so often. You still have to practice today, even if you did yesterday. This is the kind of art it is. Anything else, take a painting, sculpture, something, it remains. You can correct that also, but once something comes out of your mouth, you cannot correct it again. So it's so difficult. This art is so difficult that I would say that even 24 hours seems less. Even if you don't keep singing, but you think, you read, you listen, you teach, you do all these things related to music, only then you can do some work related to music. It's not just a good voice. If you like a song, whether it's from a film or bhajan, devotional song, which you can enjoy, but there is a lot of hard work involved.
As we saw in the previous episodes, the music materials which you told us about, so how can that reflect into music education? I mean, what should be its order, or how would be the method? That how
Should I
can
say
we
this
groom it?
after practice or
Yeah.
Firstly, as I mentioned that you need to understand the sur, identify the lay, but how will you sit? Sadhana begins with sitting. Sitting properly, sitting
Baitak.
straight, which is called baithak. Then keep a mirror in front of you so that people can like your expressions and maneuvers. Nowadays, it's visual. Everything is visual. Music is not just for listening. People see it also, and they also get influenced by it. So, definitely try this before a mirror, how to sit and sing with a long breath. Whoever can breathe long and deep can do good work. So, you need to practice for deep breath every day. Take one sur, each at a time, and see. I just remember something that range, upper and lower, how far your voice can go, the more space you get. The more space you get for work, the better it is. You can definitely do good work in one saptak, but if you can have more space, then you can perform even better, and for that, you need to do Riyaaz. Some have a natural 3 saptak voice. Some can't take it low, some can't take it up. For that, you definitely have to practice. And some of us believe that if one practices for the lower octave, then the voice can go high. I don't think so. You need to practice separately for singing on a higher octave. It's not like if you can sing low, then you can also sing high. By practicing on a lower octave, the voice gets a little bass. It can sound heavy, but it is not necessary that the voice can go high due to that. So, for the upper sa, you need to practice separately for the upper tones. You need to practice separately for everything. It's not like if you can do this, then you can do that also.
There is no shortcut there.
No,
like if you
not
can
at
do
all.
this, then
no.
you can do
But
another
if you
thing
can do
as
it
well.
all, then you can do it all.
So
Now,
demonstration.
let us say, what are you going to show us? Yeah, what happens is that when a student comes and then you tell him to hold sa like this, or breathe deeply like this, or sit like this, then the student will not come to learn. So, start teaching them bandish. So, when made to sing, he likes it. Then through that we can go further. There is a method to teach bandish, what I think, then he will learn it properly.
In the Riyaaz of bandish, there are 4 steps. In the beginning, to practice reading the song text. Later, to practice the Sargam of the bandish. Later, to say words of the bandish. And finally, to practice singing the bandish using a vowel a. I will show an example, and at the end to sing the tal in the tune of bandish. We'll present bandish in Rag Yaman Kalyan set to Japtal. Lyrics of Sthai is
गुरु चरण नित लाभो मांगत प्रभो तुम्ही सो.
Antara is
नाद समुद्र अत कठिन, गुरु बिन है अपार.
In the beginning, Sargam of bandish.
Ni pa re re sa, ni dha ni ga re ga ma re ga ma, ni pa re re sa, ni dha ni ga re ga ma re ga 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 re ma निध सानी रे सानी ध नी प रे रे सा, निध नि ग रे ग म रे ग ग ग रे म म ग ध म निध सानी रे सानी ध नी प रे रे सा, नि ध नि ग रे ग म रे ग ग. म नि ध सा सा सा, नी नि ग रे नी ध म ग, म नि ध सा सा सा, नी नि ग रे नी ध म ग, ग ग रे म ध म ग, ध म नि ध सानी रे सानी ध नी प रे रे सा, नि ध नि ग रे ग म रे ग म, नी प.
Now it's literature.
गुरु चरण नित लाभो, गुरु चरण नित लाभो, मांगत प्रभु तुमी सो, गुरु चरण नित लाभो. नाद समुद्र अत कठिन, नाद समुद्र अत कठिन, गुरु बिन है अपार, गुरु चरण.
Now I will sing in vowel A. will sing using Theka bowls in tune.
धीना धी धीना 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 धीना
We chose Yaman and Bhairavi because it has 12 notes in it. In the beginning, you need to do Aroha Avroha. Sing it as much as you can. Go as low as you can go or as high you can. So you need to practice Aro Avro. Then you need to teach bandish like this. Now we will do Bhairavi. In the same procedure, Chota Khyal in Tal Tin Tal, words of bandish, lyrics of bandish sthai,
अब तो घर आ सांवरे परत ना मोहे चैना
Antara is
विनती करत तो से श्याम बिहारी बाट तकत मुरे हारे नैना.
select the words of the compositions to be simple so that the child enjoys singing it and can understand it.
धम गरे सारे गप मगरे सा धम गरे सारे गप मगरे सा धम गरे सारे गप मगरे सा पप धनि सा नि ध प ग म प म ग मगरे धम गरे सारे गप मगरे सा धम गरे सारे प धनि ध प प ग ग ग प ध सा रे सा सा प धनि ध प प ग ग ग प ध सा रे सा सा प धनि सा ग रे म ग रे सा नि रे सा नि ध प ग म प म ग म ग रे ध म ग रे सा रे ग प म ग रे सा ध म ग रे सा रे.
After notes, bandish along with the words.
अब तो घर आ सांवरे अब तो घर आ सांवरे परत ना मोहे श्याम बिहारी बिनती करत तो से श्याम बिहारी बाट तकत मोरे हारे नैना अब तो घर आ सांवरे अब तो घर आ.
Now in vowel A, using tal bowls,
ta ta din din da da din din da da din da da tin tin ta ta din din da da din din da da din da da tin tin ta ta din din da da din din da da din da da tin tin ta ta din din da da din da da din da da tin tin ta ta din din da da din da da din da da tin tin ta ta din din da da din da da din da da tin tin ta ta din din da da din da 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 tin tin ta ta din da dha din da dha tin tin ta ta din da dha din da dha din da dha tin tin ta ta din da dha din da dha din da dha tin tin ta ta din da dha din da dha din da dha tin tin ta ta din da dha din da dha din da dha tin tin ta ta din da dha din da.
This way you can understand the tal as well. You get the habit to elaborate using vowel A. The pronunciation of the words will also good. So you can make them practice this. Now if we talk about elaboration, how to elaborate, so what are the things that fall into it? We can take Karnaswar, we can take Meend, we take Khatka, we use Andolan, the even use of Murki, use of Gamak. So we can practice each separately and we get a lot of variations in each category. If I talk about Karn, then it need not be the same Karn. You can execute Karn differently as well. Andolan can be done differently as well. We will show you each one of them, the technique which is common in all.
to begin with, Riyaaz of Karn.
निरे रे ग गम मध धनी निसा सनी निध धप पम मग गरे रिसा
One more.
Reni.
Here, the first sur is Kan. In Reni, the Re is Kan sur. Ni is not direct. You go from Re to Ni.
Reni. Gare. Maga. Dhama. Nidha. Sani. Sa. Nisa. Dhani. Madha. Gama. Rega. Nire. Sa.
Now, Riyaaz of Meend.
Ni re ni ga ni ma ni pa ni da ni ni sa. Avroha. Ni dha ni pa ni ma ni ga ni re ni sa ni
You can start with any note and do this. The way she did with Ni, you can do it with Rega, Rema, Gama, Gadha. I mean, all of this is for practice. You can then go from any note.
Riyaaz of Gamak.
Re 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 ga 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 ma 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 da 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 ni 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 sa 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 ni 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 da 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 ba 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 ma 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 ga 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 re 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 sa 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 sa
Here you will have to sing with a little force. This is also possible using two notes.
It is another example. I will sing this in two ways, first with Gamak and the other without Gamak, so it will be more clear.
ni re ga ga ma ma dha ma da da ni ni sa ni sa ni sa sa ni sa ni sa ni ni da da pa da pa ma ga ga re sa re sa.
This was without Gamak. Now with Gamak. Firstly, we'll sing in Akar. Without Gamak, we'll sing in Akar. with Gamak.
Nire 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 rega 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 gama 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 mada 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 dani 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 nisa 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 sani 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 ni dani dani da da pa da pa ma ma ga ma ga ga re re sa re sa re sa
Riyaaz of Khatka.
Ni ni re re ga ga ma ma da da ni ni sa 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 ni ni da da pa pa ma ma ga ga re re sa sa
Andolan will demonstrate Andolan of Rag Bhairav.
Gamada da pa gamare re sa
For the movement of Andolan, we can practice using straight Sargama Padanisa in Bhairav in the format of Andolan.
sa ni re sa sa ni re sa ga re sa ga re ma ga pa ma ga pa ma da ba ni da ba ni da sa ni da sa ni re sa ga re sa ni da sa ni da ba ni da pa ma da ma ga pa ma ga ga re ma ga re sa ga re sa akar a a
Another palta.
Re sa sa ni sa re sa, ga re sa re ga re, ma ga re ga ma ga, pa ma ga ma pa ma, da ba ma ba da ba, ni da ba da ni da, sa ni da ni sa ni, re da ni sa re sa, re da ni sa re sa, sa ni da ni sa ni da ba da ni da, da ba ma ba da ba, pa ma ga ma pa ma ga re ga ma ga, ga re sa re ga re. Re sa da ni sa re sa, a a a a
There are so many, we use different methods when we make phrases, when we make Swaravakya, all these things are included in that. So you can do practice separately to bring more clarity to it. Each one of these can have a lot of variations. The one with Murki, those who have computer skills, you can do a lot of variations with it and practice.
Riyaaz of Sapat.
Ni re ga ma da ni re ga re sa ni da pa ma ga re ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re ga ma da ni da pa ma ga re sa ni da ni re ga ma da pa ma ga re sa ni re ga ma da ni re ga ma pa ma ga re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa
You have to apply the sur only once, not twice. You are not to break it either.
Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa ni da pa ma ga ma da ni re ga ma da ni re ga ma da ni da pa ma ga re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Sa ni da pa ma ga re sa ni da pa ma ga ma da ni re ga ma da ni re ga ma da ni da pa ma ga re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa.
Now, keeping the tal structure in front, a few paltas have been done.
Tha, din, 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 tha, tha, din, din, tha. Ni re ga ma dha ga ma dha ni sa ni da pa ma da pa ma ga pa ma ga re ma ga re sa.
After this, 1.5 times speed.
Tha, din, din, ta, ta, din, din, tha. Ni re ga ma dha ga ma dha ni sa ni da pa ma da pa ma ga pa ma ga re sa.
Double speed.
Ni re ga ma dha ga ma dha ni sa ni da pa ma da pa ma ga re sa.
3 times the speed.
ni re ga ma da ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa.
4 times the speed.
Ni re ga ma da ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Ni re ga ma da ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa.
Similarly, palta of ek tal. This palta has been made keeping the division of tal in mind.
Khand and Theka Bol.
Division and theka bol combined for palta. Ek tal has 2 beats in each division, 2 beats in each of the 6 divisions. Palta is made accordingly.
ni re re ga ga ma ma dha dha ni sa ni da dha pa pa ma ga re sa. Ni re ga ga ma dha dha ni sa ni da dha pa pa ma ga re sa. Ni re ga ga ma dha dha ni sa ni da dha pa pa ma ga re sa.
Palta in Rupak Tal.
Tin tin na tin na tin na tin tin na tin na tin. Ni re ga ma ga ma da ga ma da ni da ni sa ni sa ni ni da pa ni da da pa ma pa ma ga re ma ga re sa ni re sa a
Palta according to Jhaptal's format 2-3-2-3.
Dhe na the na the na the ni re ga ga ma dha ma da ni sa ni da ni da pa ma ga re sa
Tal Kerva. Tage Natti Nakadin of 8 beats.
धागे नती नकधी न धागे नती नकधी नि रे ग म प म ग रे ग म ध नि ध प म ग म ध नि सा नि ध प म ध नि रे ग रे सा नि ध नि रे ग म ग रे सा सा नि ध प म ध नि सा नि ध प म ग म ध नि ध प म ग रे ग म ध प म ग रे नि रे ग म ग रे सा नि ध नि रे ग रे सा नि ध म ध नि सा
Tal Dadra, 3/3 beats in 2 divisions.
Re ga sa ni da re ga ma ni da pa ga ma dha pa ma ga ma dha ni ma ga re dha ni sa ga re sa. Ni re ga sa ni da re ga ma ni da pa ga ma dha pa ma ga ma dha ni ma ga re dha ni sa ga re sa.
You can make paltas of many different phrases. This was just an example which we have shown. You can make it very well. It would be easier for those who know computer.
धन धागे तिरकिट
तू ना कत्ता धागे तिरकिट धी ना नी रे नी रे नी रे
म म ध
नी सा सा नी ध प म ग रे सा नी रे नी रे नी रे ग म म ध नी सा सा नी ध प म ग रे सा.
Notes have been placed according to Dhin Dhin Dhage Tirkade.
Similarly, Deep Chandi,
ता तिन
धा धा धन नी रे ग म
म ध म ध नि सा सा नि द प म ग रे सा नि रे ग म ध नि सा नि द प म ग रे सा.
When you are doing elaboration, then you can't use palta. I mean, all these can be used in Tan. You can use all these for Swaravakya phrases, but its presentation style would be different. Now, to challenge your imagination, Merukhand system is very good. Take any 4 notes and keep working on that. Don't repeat. The structure that you create, don't repeat that. Take 4 notes, 5 notes, work in that only. Now, let's listen.
firstly 3 notes,
नी रे ग रे नी ग रे ग नी ग रे नी ग नी रे आ
now 4 notes,
नी रे ग म नी रे म ग नी ग रे म नी म रे ग नी ग म रे नी म ग रे आकार आ आ
You need to write on paper, then you will come to know you are creating different structures, then sing them. When it becomes a habit, then it becomes much easier. and then just not do bring changes in that. We have to bring changes in the movement also. Don't just sing like monotonously. All these exercises, you have to practice this, but it shouldn't seem just as the practice in the presentation. You need to keep this in mind, whether you do tan or phrases, that beauty, your imagination, your ability, the emotion and the work execution needs to be done accordingly. Only then the rag comes out good and the presentation reaches to you.
So, we just heard the different aspects of practice. So, we saw a demonstration of the preparation of the throat or preparation of the medium. Along with that, we also saw how to exercise one's intellect. We also saw a good example as to how the practice of the throat and practice of the intellect can progress in one together. Prabhaji, I have a question that music education and practice, we do that in our homes. But as you said, you can't practice during a performance. So, can we have music education and practice differently while keeping performance in our mind?
You practiced at your home and you learned from your guru. Now you can do this. Try to sing in front of your friends and family and see if you can sing palta or taan. Or you can assess it yourself. Sit in front of your guru. That's how it happens, right? Half of what you do at home, you forget it on stage. Either that or it feels like practice. For that not to happen, this is also an exercise to sing in front of people. That's when it happens, not when you talk about it.
One part of my question was also that does the guru educate the student with the focus that he has to sing on the stage or he has to prepare this for the performance?
But until you do this, how will you sing on stage?
No, I meant after the practice.
So you have to do that by listening. Like you need to listen to good artists to know how to present. This is just practice. What else happens during presentation? You can do it after you listen and contemplate about it. Teaching that is difficult, I think.
And when we present on stage, then we don't just sing khyal, but we also present different forms, different ghats. So the practice for that be different?
Different. You need to practice differently for different forms of music. Otherwise, people could sing full music while calling it classical music. You can't do that, right? The practice for each one of them is different. The throw of voice is different. Pronunciation of words is different. The phrases are different. All of them is different. Whatever you sing, practice properly for that and only then you present. Yeah, it's possible to know how difficult it is. You need to learn it, but do not sing outside.
So there was a saying in the good old days that like the guru would say that I definitely taught you this, but sing this after 10 years, meaning you have to work on this for 10 years, practice and then sing it on stage. I have a question that when you learned and when you practiced, then that was a different era. Times have changed a lot. Technology has changed a lot. Newer equipments are now available. We have electronic tanpura, tabla. There are many new devices and the facility of e-learning has also begun. So, in music education and practice, what is the importance of these new technical equipments?
They will definitely be useful. Why not? You have these aids, right? They can assist you to expand your knowledge. You can definitely use it. So you can have fast training, you can progress quickly because you can see everything visually.
And what were the common beliefs of music practice at that time and what are the beliefs today? Because when you learned the era, the practice during those days, how was it perceived?
What happened was my guru taught me to practice just the way it's done today. He didn't ask to practice one thing the whole night. He said that if you can do something well, then leave that and do something else and try to think to do something like that. So I never faced that difficulty.
So you are very fortunate to have a guru of vision.
Yeah, very true. But one thing is very true, if you can't do something well, then don't leave it. Don't leave it in the middle until you can do it. I mean, until you can make yourself happy, until you can satisfy yourself, you can't satisfy the people. It is more important to have the understanding whether you are singing it good or not. People will say anything, but you need to know whether you are doing good work or not. Until then, you need to keep on practicing.
So all of us will have to take a look within. Self-introspection is important. Should we move towards
Yeah,
the
please.
question and answer round? We heard good thoughts from Prabhaji regarding education and practice, like her thoughts and what she wants to say. So if any one of you have any questions or doubts, then you can definitely ask.
Practice of Tar Saptak and Mandra Saptak. Is it different? I am Dr. Vidya Gokhale.
Firstly, everyone mostly sings one saptak properly generally. Sa to sa is sung well. To sing Mandra Saptak, you have to practice one note lower each with time. I mean, don't try it at one go. Start singing from sa to ni. Practice ni for a few days, then move towards tha, then pa. Doing it slowly, and you'll be able to go low. And don't force it. And the voice should be melodious. You need to keep this in mind. Whatever you do, the voice should be melodious. I mean, it should be worth listening to. You don't need to have a voice like Lataji. Of course, it should not be the same. Same voice becomes monotonous. You should have your own voice, but it should be good. You will do the same when singing higher notes. If sa is done properly, then move towards re. When re is sung well, then ga. It doesn't just happen suddenly. It takes a long time. You can sing well in one saptak also. If it is difficult to sing high or low, leave it. A lot of work can be done in one saptak.
I am Swapan Sadhu. I had a question that gurus say that I got how to sing. When such a stage comes when you think you can sing, for that to happen, is there a methodology or should you keep on practicing for 10 years or so and you will suddenly realize that you can sing?
Actually, that's how it works in reality. You keep on doing, and one day something turns up.
And as Prabhatai told you the method, we were listening to all till now was the method. So yeah, that was the method. Yeah.
There is no time limit. It depends on the person. Sometimes you can do great work in a year. Sometimes it can take 5 years. It depends upon your ability, your talent.
And we can say about our Indian classical music that everyone does not have a single medicine. It's not like that. It's not like allopathy. It's Ayurvedic. According to one's own nature, they would have a different way of practicing, and each one will also be taught differently. So the same guru will teach 10 people differently. So the training is also different because his abilities, his attributes, weaknesses, the guru teaches according to that, and one has to practice according to that. Because the quality which I would have, someone else might not have that, and vice versa. So I would have to practice according to my capabilities and weaknesses. There is no fixed formula. It changes from one individual to another.
To understand music is the first step. To understand it properly, it's a big step to understand whether the note executed was proper. You can't work further until you understand this. Many times people would say the note wasn't right. So you need to understand yourself if the note was right or not. This understanding, whether it's a good music or not as good, this understanding is very important to progress further. For the artist as well as for the audience. Audience applaud anywhere. Because they don't have the training. I'm not blaming them, but you need to understand where good work is being done.
how should one practice any rag? In every gharana, the same rag is being presented in different ways. Everyone has a different say for it. How should we, as a student, perceive at the rag? How should we practice it? Please guide.
First of all, whatever your guru is teaching you, firstly learn what he understands about the rag and then ask him if it is sung the same way in the other gharanas or differently. Get to know that also and then pick from that which one you like. And on that you have to work all of this. As we just mentioned, you have to practice Aro very well. That makes the work a lot easy, because if you get the note of Avroha in Aro, you won't come to know. If you don't understand it, then it is also possible. So first of all, understand Avro very well, and then all of this, what I said, you can do the paltas by yourself, either with tal or without tal, slow, fast as you can. You can go from slow to fast. You have to do all of this. You have to do this in every rag. As soon as you come to know about Aro, start with this.
In order to practice a rag, just as Prabhaji mentioned, you need to first learn from your guru, like how does he see it? How does he perceive rag? First get to know that well, and then later on, like today, there are very good facilities available. There are two good mediums like books. Different scholars have written different books, so you can see different kind of rag roop, form of rag. How the form of rag changes with time, you can learn this from the books also. So practice on that. Meaning, if you suppose you are practicing God Sarang, then you can read the books from Bhatkandeji to the scholars of today. Like what rag roop have they described there? How much does it tally from what you have learned or not? Make the comparison, and the phrases that do not match, keep them separately. You need to focus on that. Like why have they mentioned so? Guruji did not teach us this phrase, but why it is there? There should be a logic behind this. It might be in some other gharana, or that phrase might be used in a specific form. You need to contemplate on this. Maybe after a few years you might understand this. Like why did you feel a certain way about a phrase in that rag? And the second medium is nowadays of recordings. Since the last 100 years, we have recordings of so many great artists. The archives are filled with them. So if you want to practice a rag, then you can go to the archives. You will also see that there's a lot available on YouTube as well. So listen to the presentation of different artists. So how do they express that rag? And in my opinion, you can also do this. Like tell your guru how much work you are doing on something. Like all this what I just practiced, is the presentation of rag good enough or not? So take his opinion and then you can present. Sometimes it also happens that you and your guru are in disagreement with each other. Guru can say that my definition of rag, this doesn't fit in that. So then you can worry later on about that. If the guru is so positive that this is my opinion, but if you feel that way, you can do so. Some gurus give this freedom as well if they are liberal then. So it's also possible, but one thing you should keep in mind here is that nowadays it is being misused. Like you listen to an artist and then you are influenced by him and then imitate that without understanding. Then that gives a lot of problems. So that's why I say that present that in front of your guru, like this is what I have practiced. So is this good enough or not? Take his approval and then do whatever you want later on.
But I feel that at some point we will have to move towards standardization. Because there should be one theory only. There should not be so much debate about it. If this work can be started at the university level, then it would be good.
We will definitely do it. Are there any other questions? Someone else over there want to ask a question? Yes, please ask.
I
had a question.
Please tell us your name as well.
Yeah. I am Shivani Miraskar. I wanted to ask a question. Is there any relation between practice and gharanas? And another sub question in that, that if you shift from one gharana to another gharana, then is it necessary that there are certain things to unlearn or to learn additionally or something like that?
First of all, why would you want to change? Why do you want to change? After a few days, if you feel you don't like it, then you should have left at that time only. To change your path after a while becomes very difficult. Then both your gurus will be mad at you. And if you understand that you want to change, then you can change things yourself. There is a certain stage where you can change it by yourself.
Due to some conditions, if the change occurs.
It depends on the other guru, right? Whether he will allow you to sing like this or not.
But will the practice also change according to that?
Everything will change, right?
Okay.
From using your voice to the presentation, everything will change. That does happen.
In every gharana, their teaching techniques are different and the way they train is also different. So naturally there will be a difference. As we just saw, there is no standardization. So because every gharana has a beautiful perspective, so their point of view towards music, their aesthetics will definitely change. So naturally the teaching and the training both will change. Even the presentation will change. So if you want to change, then you need to look at what suits you the best and then do it. Secondly, what you just asked about unlearning, I want to say about that sometimes it so happens like the other guru to whom you went, he might tell you to forget what you have learnt previously and learn what he will be teaching you. So you will also have to do that for a few years because the other guru, you need to adapt his technique. So naturally you will have to unlearn. But after learning from him for a few years, after taking good training from him, you can do the revision of what you have learnt before, like what are the things in that which suits my voice or suits my state of mind, and how to mix both of these. You can blend it separately. It can be good also. There are many examples like that, where people have learned from gurus of two different gharanas or styles and then later on they made their own style. So this is possible. But for you, that you will have talent and intelligence is necessary. And as Prabha Atre mentioned, you can do it yourself, right? The way Prabha Atre, after learning from her two gurus, she made her own style. So that happened due to her study, right? So after hearing different people sing, she took what she liked from it. She did a lot of hard work with dedication for it. So if you have the ability to do that, then you will definitely get the result.
Actually, I expected this optimistic answer.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is optimism only. Like if you want to do good, then it is possible.
Exactly.
But you will have to do it yourself. You cannot depend just on your guru, because your guru can bring it to a certain level, and after that you have to do it yourself, right?
During which time should female students practice? Should we practice more in the morning or should we practice in the evening? Because in Tar Saptak, what should we do to hit the note properly for the female singer students?
Whether male singers or female singers, one can practice at any time, and you should be able to go and come back to and from Tar Saptak anytime, also in Mandra. You need to learn to do everything anytime. There is no specific time for that. Sit with your Tanpura whenever you get time. It will be good.
But I have heard that if you practice more in the mornings, then it becomes a bit more difficult to sing in Tar Saptak. Even I tried it myself. I used to practice more in the mornings, and when I started practice more in the evening instead, then I felt a certain lightness in my throat.
This is natural, right? Like If the heat increases, then you can work better. It becomes difficult when it's cold. So the voice will be a bit heavy when you wake up early in the morning. That is the reason you have to work on that, right? Any note should sound good at any time.
Okay.
That is what we practice for.
And according to the social norms, women have to work in the house. So naturally, a lot of the time in the morning is consumed in household work. So when will you practice? You will practice when you get the time, and many female artists have overcome this issue and did very well for themselves. And when we talk about time, like the state of your throat, and practice according to that. So as Prabhaji mentioned, in the morning the muscles of your throat are a bit tight. The practice at that time will be different, and in the evening when one is active, the state of the body changes, so the practice will be different. But like as she said, that in order for it to become easier for you to sing any note at any time, you will have to practice only. Otherwise, you can't sing high notes in the morning or low notes in the evening. That's not possible, right? If you have to perform in the morning, then will not you sing the high notes? So you
Both
have
times
to do
the
it all.
difficulty will be there.
So I say, whenever you get the time, start practicing. This is the answer of the question.
Yes, but what happens is that sometimes we practice a lot. We practice in the morning, even in the evening, and we do even in the afternoon. So if you practice a lot, like
your
then,
voice becomes sore, but if you continue practicing, then it will not become sore.
Okay.
If you practice in the
Okay.
morning, afternoon, evening, night, then it will not be sore at all.
Thank you so much.
This was the 10th and final session of our Aalok series, and we would like to end with a composition of Prabhaji.
जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा
जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा
जगत
जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा तू भवानी महाकाली तू भवानी महाकाली तू शिवानी मंगला जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा
तू भवानी
महाकाली तू भवानी महाकाली तू शिवानी मंगला जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा शारदा सरस्वती
ज्ञान
देवी वंदना शारदा सरस्वती
ज्ञान
देवी वंदना शांति सुख की हो विमला शांति सुख की हो विमला ज्ञान दातु हो सफला जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा तू भवानी महाकाली तू भवानी महाकाली तू शिवानी मंगला जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा
लक्ष्मी धन की संपदा
पूरी करत कामना लक्ष्मी धन की संपदा पूरी करत कामना ऋषि मुनि जन सकल प्रिया ऋषि मुनि जन सकल प्रिया कोमला तु चंचला जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा तू भवानी महाकाली तू भवानी महाकाली तू शिवानी मंगला जगत जननि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नव दुर्गा जगत जननि भवतारिणि भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नवदुर्गा शारदा तु ज्ञानदा लक्ष्मी तू है संपदा शारदा तु ज्ञानदा लक्ष्मी तू है संपदा काली दुर्गा शक्ति माँ काली दुर्गा शक्ति माँ कोटि है तुम्हें प्रणाम जगत जननी भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नवदुर्गा जगत जननी भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नवदुर्गा तू भवानी महाकाली तू भवानी महाकाली तू शिवानी मंगला जगत जननी भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नवदुर्गा जगत जननी भवतारिणि मोहिनी तु नवदुर्गा मोहिनी तु नवदुर्गा